No, that was a nice bubble moment.
Yeah, back to
Nocturne, one thing is you, like, the Victor knows that you're right there because he can see your trail. So usually what you want to go do is you want to, like, trail towards the bush, like, towards, like, red buff so they can't actually see you go there. Because, like, now they all came for you and you're probably, you might not die, but, like, you should have, like, the Victor wouldn't have known that you were there if you didn't, if you did the trails properly. That was nice getting out by all, though. Wait, Khalil, are you muted or something?
No, I'm here. I mean, back to what Randy was saying about, I mean, it ended up working out for them, but if Nocturne hadn't taken as risky of a decision, instead of Lee having to go, like, because actually Riven just lost a ton of creeps up in top lane, and so Jace is most likely going to get 5 before her, even though she's the one with teleport. And that's a big problem in top lane because you don't get as many opportunities to catch back up after you fall behind. So when you get pressured, when a jungler gets pressured like that in their jungle, they're costing their laners a lot of stuff. I mean, Jace is only up 7 CS. I would expect to be a little more ahead because of the pressure that he was getting from Nocturne being in the jungle. But at the same time, if Lee hadn't been trying to invade Nocturne so much and had just gone and done his red, he could have ganked Jace, who's just been pushed to turret with no ward and tri-bush. And with Riven, like, you actually have a lot of kill pressure against the Jace.
Honestly, Lee, your jungling right now is just very inefficient. Like, you're not being very decisive. Like, you were thinking about going top lane, so, like, you, like, ran over there and then you decided against it, and it, like, took up a lot of time. And you're basically just running around and you're not getting anything out of value. So, like...
I also would not try and gank a lane when I'm that... Like, you're really, really far behind in experience because of your farming, so I would try to... Just right now, just power farm your jungle. Like, you're really far behind, you need to catch up. There's nothing... Actually... As a jungling tip in general, you will beat most lower elo junglers just by farming your jungle because people forget to do it. Like, they'll get so caught up in ganking and running around and rotating that they don't really kill their creeps, and so they're, like, not getting levels. So, if you're in doubt and you're a jungler and, like, you know that you're down in levels and you can't really exert any pressure, go farm your jungle. And then go gank bot lane because it has decent kill pressure. Wait for Morgana. You have Morgana and they have, like, Kalista Nami. If you snare Mommy, she's probably gonna die.
And I mean, same kind of thing, Nocturne. Like, if you're playing Nocturne, then, like, I don't know if they're actually paying attention right now, but if they were paying attention, they would have seen your trail and they would have been like, okay, he's at Wraiths. Whereas, like, they don't have any wards, so you easily could have played around that and they would have had no idea where you were.
Yeah. And, like, Nocturne should, like, whereas Lee should be camping bot or top, I really think Nocturne should be putting a lot of pressure mid because, like, Victor doesn't have any escapes. I mean, he has Gravity Field.
Yeah,
and then Nocturne can W that.
So a ton of field potential.
Yeah, like, this would just delete Victor if he has Nocturne damage and Nocturne Fear. But if you just let the enemy mid laner keep pushing your mid in like that, I mean, he's CSing well, which is impressive. But, I mean, like, you're letting them get pressure for no reason. Like, they don't have to be getting that pressure. They're very killable.
Build-wise, actually, stacking Doran's Blades is not very... I mean, Doran's Rings is not very useful now. It was nerfed a little while back, and, like, it's better to just not go for them if you're, like, start class. Although I do like that you picked up a sweeper Nocturne, like, and since you grabbed some wards, it's just like, it's very good to have 2 sweepers, especially whenever you are going Devour, or are you going, never mind, you're going Warrior. But, like, no, you have pretty good dragon control early. The only problem is that, you don't have a top laner with DP, so if Ribbon roams down or something, or if y'all wait until Ribbon's TP is back up, then y'all have a numbers disadvantage.
Fighting the top lane. She ult late.
No, she hasn't ulted yet, I don't think.
I mean, first activation, she ulted late.
Alright, I didn't actually see what happened, Med, but...
I didn't either. Oh, that was a good pickup by Fizz, wow. Definitely an overstay on... Oh, no, Fizz is gonna die. Not necessarily.
I don't know, it's...
He's dead.
Yeah, bot lane, the problem is, right now, Morgana has a lot of kill pressure with her ult, because, like, if she ults you, then even though you're Kalista, like, you're not going to be able to get away unless you have flash, and then once you get stunned, then she snares you for years, and you're dead. And then, like, in addition, you have Jinx's snare, so you really just need to stay under tower and not extend at all unless you get, like, a jungler gank.
I mean, and back to the Fizz Victor thing that happened in mid lane, a lot of that was just, what you have to be careful of as a jungler is that you don't want, so as the jungler, even if you're farming like fairly well, the mid laner will likely be slightly ahead of you in terms of like experience and items, like just because he's in a lane. And so you don't want to commit to a fight if your mid laner is too low when they can't help you. So, like, Nocturne went in with Nocturne ult, and like Fizz wasn't really healthy enough to help him, and so he ended up losing 1v1 to Victor. And Victor has a lot of
This
ways
is
to
a
pop
nice
his
play
W.
by blue side. It's kind of risky. I don't actually never mind. He swept it, so they know that it's not warded. And really, that's just like red side should have had that warded, or at least like had Scuttle. I guess Scuttle had just spawned. So, and I like the ward that they put near blue, so they would know if somebody was coming. Like, it's good.
Oh, I see what you mean, Hobbit. So like when in the Riven Jace matchup, like Jace has the advantage 4-6 because he can just poke Riven down, and all she can do is really is like eat the auto attacks and then like try to E his Qs. But whenever she jumped on him in the creep wave in top lane, like instead of Jace using his E to knock her back, he could just like auto her with his W, and like get his minions to just beat the shit out of her. That was a good dodge, but she's gonna die. Oh wow. Yeah. That was a good sidestep. And a good shield. But Jace has pretty good items. I mean, actually he has a tier, so I guess really the biggest difference is the pickaxe fertilizer.
Oh, Riven, one thing that a lot of people do against a lane like Gnar or like Jace is you actually max E first, just so you like never take any damage, and you just farm up. And then, like, you don't have as much damage, but you are still Riven and you still do a lot of damage.
And you could also go Thorn Shield instead of Thorn's Blade. I mean, like, I know that you don't get the lifesteal, but considering how much...
I think I like Longsword with pots. Or, like, I just don't like Dorn. I don't like Dorn's Shield on Riven.
Mm.
Like, I would say either Cloth Armor or Longsword.
I think any option that has more sustain is better if you're not running Teleport especially.
Yeah. Alright, that was a... I'm not actually sure if that roam is going to be worth it, Victor. Like, you're going to kill her, but his team is... Okay, never mind. They got the tower, so... Blue side should not fight this.
I think they can actually run that if this has ult.
Oh, that was a nice bubble.
Like when Victor is in a position to where he can't have any sort of peel for him, and he has like a threat like Fizz that close to him. So Fizz actually zones him from doing a lot of damage to the team, like in terms of AoE damage. Yeah, Victor can delete one person, but it's a lot more effective when Victor's like hitting everyone at once, obviously.
Alright, Lee, what you're doing right now is really risky, and like you're not going to get anything out of it, and it's not going to be worth it. It would be like very unlikely that anyone's going to come by there.
He also doesn't have a sweeper, so you don't want to stand in places in people's jungles when you don't have any vision, and you also don't know if you're standing on a ward. Like when you don't.
Well,
have
I guess he already knew. He already knew he wasn't standing on a ward because he killed a pink.
Raptor?
Yeah, he had Raptor. But it was still like he knew that he wasn't standing on a ward, but there was nothing he could get out of it. He was basically just wasting time.
Well, I mean, like even with pinks there, like I'm a troll. I put pinks where I have greens because when people kill your pink, they assume that there's not a ward there.
Well, no, like he had Raptor vision, which gave him vision of the pink. Or like he already what made him know that there was a pink there, and then he killed both. I don't think there was a ward, but he knew that there wasn't a ward there. But yeah, we should definitely get a sweeper now, and then Ryan should sell his warding totem for a blue trinket.
I mean, also the Moby boots only. Like, all right, I build Moby boots only like pretty much all the time, but I feel like unless you're having like a significant impact, getting a sightstone, like unless you're like getting really fed, getting a sightstone is kind of more important. Like if you think you need to be around the map to make more plays, that's fine. But I think the sightstone would do more good. It's so wild.
I was just gonna say, like, this is the kind of game where I think that you probably should have just gone a lot more tanky at elite. Like, you didn't really make much of an impact. You only got 1 kill. Like, that's good, but you aren't far enough ahead to really warrant like getting more damage. Like I think maybe not Cinderhulk, like because Warrior is very good on him, but like Cinderhulk is also very good, and then you just become tanky as hell, and you already have a Riven, you have a Jinx, you have a Victor for damage, so your team's not going to be lacking in damage.
Typically on Lee Sin, like since his base damage is so good, I mean you pretty much always go Warrior, but like Rush, he'll sell his Warrior later on and buy Cinderhulk.
Okay. Plus, like, then he can change up the smite.
I think like the mobility boots was not worth it, and because he wasn't having as much of an impact, like you were saying.
Nice job, Keaton. Just killing Riven.
Oh man, that double kill, that Jinx rocket. Blue team was a little overzealous there, and by a little overzealous, I mean really overzealous. They were outnumbered, and like they weren't even that healthy. I think one of the things I've noticed about this elo and the previous elo is that choosing when to pick fights does not seem... I mean, obviously I have a little more information than they do at all times, but I mean, they can see their own health bars. They can determine whether or not, like, the siege is worth it. Or, like...
Plus, I mean, you can see what information they have.
Yeah. I meant, like, in terms of vision, but...
No, I know what I'm saying, like, you can see, like, even with their vision, like, they knew, like... Like, they knew that they were low and that they would lose that fight, and then they knew that Jace wasn't there, and they knew where Riven was, but they knew it would be a 44. Like,
I mean, and the other thing is that they had a turret there. Like, they don't have to fight. They have. I mean, well, I will admit that their wave clear on this comp is very, very lacking. Like,
yeah,
that's
like,
why they felt pressured.
Like, it's gonna be like decent once Callista gets Runans, but like that's gonna be a while because Callista's pretty far behind.
I mean, even then. Not Victor wave clear. Well, that was a damn good steal.
That was pretty proud.
It was legendary.
I wouldn't necessarily because your entire team's right there, so there's no point in using your ult.
For who?
Jump over the wall? No. Actually, I don't even know if you can jump over that wall.
You have to be on the top side of it. You said it wasn't worth the ult for who?
For Nocturne. Because Lee just ulted him at like 3 HP.
Oh, he just... Oh, he used his ult at the end. I thought he used his ult to get in.
Honestly, I think Fizz probably should have kept going. See, Keaton, I think that, like, basically if you're a top laner and you get ahead, you have 2 options. You have the option of going out and helping your team, and you have the option of, like, just staying top, forcing them to, like, send somebody top who you can beat. And usually, like, the deciding factor is the champion that you're playing and your team comp. And, like, so if you have a team comp that's going to be better at team fighting and, like, your team scales extremely hard, then you want to help out your team. But with your team comp, like, your team doesn't scale very hard. Like, Fizz is the one that needed to make picks in the first place, and like Fizz needed to get people ahead, but he didn't really. So like, it probably would have been more effective if you just kind of stayed top lane. You forced a lot of pressure top, and then just gave your time. You basically just try to give your team like time to get back